My name is Venkatesh Subramaniam. I'm the Global Chief Information Security Officer for Olam International. Olam is one of the largest food and agribusiness in the world, headquartered in Singapore with an annual revenue of close to $25 billion. So I'm also currently responsible also for their privacy program globally, and also for the OT and ICS security, for over 70 factories.
So what are some of your top cybersecurity priorities in the next 18 to 24 months?
Right. So I'll kind of split it into three different buckets. One is the information technology itself. So there a few things that we will be looking at is virtual patching is one of them, and I would say deception technologies is something which we are already rolling out currently. And also we plan to set up a security data lake. We're just in the process of conceptualizing how to go about it. So but we have some thoughts around using an elk stack to go with it. So that's on the information security side, and also UEBA is another thing that we're looking at. So that's one thing. The other thing is, because as I told you, I've just recently been asked to lead the privacy program globally. So a lot of focus in the next year is going to be around making sure that we are doing the due diligence regarding protection of personal information, and putting an entire structure around the privacy program. So that's the second bucket which is of priority. And then the third thing is also again around our factories and protection of the OT and ICS system in factories. So I think over the next 24 months, that would be also one area that we would want to make sure that we have a robust security reference architecture, and then we are also able to assess the security of at least our critical factories.
Sure. How do you convey a business aligned message for your cybersecurity initiatives? Because cybersecurity doesn't impact the top line in the traditional sense. So how would you recommend practitioners can convey a very business aligned message for their initiatives?
Right. So security traditionally has been considered to be more of a defensive shield in organizations. I think the first thing which is important is a change in that mindset from more being a defensive shield. So we have to make sure that at least at our hearts, we have to be convinced that we would be responsible through security, to be drivers for growth in the company, as well as giving it a competitive advantage. So now if you feel that that's where you want to position the program, then a lot of discussions which you have with the business is going to be more in those direction, rather than the traditional technical fear-mongering defensive mentality. So a lot of things would be how can we build more trust with our partners, suppliers, and also our customers, so that they feel a lot more confident that here is an organization which can protect the information that they're giving us, and that in turn that trust will lead to more confidence and growth in the business. So that's the way we have to look at it, and that's how we will position a lot of these the initiatives also.
Sure. So a fun question, so feel free to indulge us. So you just bumped into the CEO of your organization in the elevator, and she asked you, are we 100% safe? Are we 100% secure? How would you respond to that question?
That's a difficult, and that's a typical one too. I would say that my answer would be that in a highly dynamic threat landscape, it is virtually impossible to assure 100% security. But we are doing all the right things. We have got, we are on track with our strategic security plan, and we have implemented initiatives which have significantly reduced the risk to the organization. And going forward also, the initiatives that we are planning is aligned to de-risk the organization within its risk appetite. So that's how I position it. So cannot directly say that it's that that we are 100% sure. It's very difficult to give that kind of insurance.
That has been a very consistent response by all the leaders that we've spoken to, that it's virtually impossible to guarantee like that. All right. So there is a lack of qualified cybersecurity professionals, and if you look at diversity in cybersecurity, it's really not inspiring, right? So what are you doing in your organization to build a deep talent pool to promote women in cybersecurity? What kind of programs, initiatives do you run at Poland?
So a couple of things. One, we are actually conscious that that we do not have enough women in workplace. So one is, of course, to have a mindset change, and that starts with leaders like us. We have to make sure that we are acceptable to that. So that is there. So at Ulam we want to make sure that it is the best person for the job. So that's extremely, there is no bias regarding during the selection process itself. We also of course go to campuses and other places trying to look for talent, but specifically regarding women in workplace, we still have a way to go, and we want to make sure I've not had an attrition of my women employees in the last couple of years, which is a good thing. So it's just we have to keep making sure that we are able to hire the best talent for the company.
Sure. What is your recommendation to cybersecurity vendors, right? How should they continue to be of value to organizations like yourself?
So, see, we do a lot of assessments of our vendors to make sure that they protect information, but the assessments only can go to a certain point of time. So the assessments usually, they cannot be exhaustive. So a lot of I would say responsibility on the vendor itself. It's just like the example I gave you, right? How do I convince my customers, my partners that we protect their information? That way they should also proactively come to us, so rather than just being a data protection agreement, they should come and proactively kind of demonstrate the kind of controls that they have, in any engagement that we do with them. So I would treat that as more with more confidence, than me anyway doing a vendor assessment, which you never usually is exhaustive. You can try to some extent, but if people want to cheat the system, they can.
Right. Trust is so fundamental in the relationship. All right. So we're just winding up our interview. Just a couple more fun questions here. So obviously, a CISO's job is probably one of the most demanding, right? And it's becoming even more complex. They say that CISOs don't get enough sleep these days. So what keeps you up at night?
I would say it's not that it. So what keeps me at night? I'm going to put it a little differently.
Sure.
It's not the fear of something bad happens. And that's just, maybe it's me. It's more what is it that we can do tomorrow, to make the organization better. So that is what the thought process is always not. It is around trying to de-risk, but it's the challenge in trying to take it, and then the satisfaction that you have done this for your organization would be the greatest success, and that's it gives you that much more confidence as you go ahead, and it gives you some kind of a peace of mind that you have done your due diligence, done the best. So what keeps me at my night is more around what more can I do for the organization? What are some of the small things I may have missed out? It's not whether a breach is happening. Breach could happen. But we should not be found wanting in due diligence. You should not feel at the end of a breach that I should have done X, Y, and Z. So as long as you felt that I really did my best and something happened, then it's fine. So what keeps me at night is what more can I do tomorrow to continue to de-risk the organization within its risk appetite.
Sure. So last question, how do you unwind? It's obviously a very demanding profession, so give us a glimpse about your weekends.
Yeah, the weekends, I try to spend time with my family as much as possible. I live close to the beach in Chennai, so I definitely go at least one of the 2 days we go as a family to the beach. I am an avid cricket fan. I mean, watching, not playing, but so that's another thing. And over the last year or so, I think I've also become a little more inclined spiritually. So I do attend, like, some discourses, spiritual discourses, and kind of helps me, like, to keep myself calm, and helps puts things in perspective and builds that kind of balance in life, which is kind of helps me, like, also professionally.
Sure. Well, that's the end of our interview. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Oscar.
Yeah,
I
thank you
appreciate it.
so much.